Hey guys, Gail here in the Back Mountain Microgreens grow room. So I have a question for you today. What if I told you that in 2 of our dark chocolate leaflets, you could get more nutrients than in a whole cup of broccoli? So that is the truth. I'm gonna kind of, break the ice there. But we have a lot of numbers to go over as far as our nutritional testing. I'm super excited to share the data with you guys. And if you are as interested in geeking out over the data as I am, then you are definitely gonna wanna stay tuned. Why did we want to do the nutritional testing? Well, when Luke and I set out with making the chocolates, we really wanted to be able to make a health claim on the packaging. And so what we mean by that is we wanted to be able to say something along the lines of, in so many chocolates or in so many bags, you would get so much broccoli. But what we didn't realize at the outset is that to do that, we actually had to be able to run our own numbers and compare them to the FDA's numbers. So the FDA publishes for all different kinds of food, especially produce, exactly what nutrients you're gonna get when you eat a specific amount of that food. So for instance, there are a few options that you could choose from, like a cup or 100 grams, a serving, which I think is 85 grams, and I'm talking specifically broccoli here. But anyway, we did our testing because we wanted to be able to say, all right, this is how much nutrient density is in our chocolate as compared to eating fresh broccoli florets. And so we have a bunch of numbers to go over. I'm gonna go over this little paper here. This is kind of my cheat sheet for doing the video, but I am going to see if I can figure out how to pull that up on the screen for you guys and show you when I'm actually talking about the numbers. So I thought that maybe not everybody, but for the people who are interested in this kind of stuff, this would be a really awesome video to just share the data that we got and give you guys some input as far as what we're interested in on the back end and, see where it goes. So there you go. Okay, I want to go over this chart. So I'm going to go like that. You guys can get a quick glance at it, pause the screen if you want, take a screenshot, then look at it while I am talking about the rest of the video. What I'm going to do is publish this as a shareable document, and that way it'll be a little bit easier for you guys to go back to. I will also link to where this information came from as well. So first 3 columns, guys, are direct from the FDA website. That is our baseline. First column is the individual mineral itself. Second column is how that measurement is taken. And the third column is what of that measurement you get in a single cup of broccoli florets. So let's just take the first line, for instance, as calcium. The measurement is in milligrams, and in the third column, you can see you get 35 milligrams of calcium per cup of broccoli. So again, that is our baseline. I will link to that right on the FDA website. All of the columns to the right, we have columns for powder, microgreens, and leaflets. What we wanted to do is kind of be able to compare and contrast each of those to the baseline, to regular fresh broccoli florets. So what you'll see is under the powder, the micros, and the leaflets, there are 2 columns for each. The column on the left with a larger number corresponds with the measurement, the milligrams or the micrograms. And the column on the right, where it has the times FDA moniker there, is simply a mathematical calculation for how many more times that product has of that nutrient as compared to the baseline. So let's just go right across the top for calcium, okay? You can see that there is, I'm only going to talk about the multiplier column, the times FDA column, because I think it's a little bit simpler than, going too crazy with the numbers. So let's just focus on the microgreens itself because we don't actually sell powder. Go right across the top for calcium. You can see the FDA multiplier is 21. That means in one 60-gram container of our broccoli microgreens, you are going to get 21 times the amount of calcium that you would get in 1 cup of broccoli. What does that mean? That means you could divide your clamshell of broccoli microgreens into 21 sections, which would be just like a tiny little pinch with a couple of leaflets. And that's going to get you the same amount of calcium as a cup of broccoli. What's the cool thing is toward the bottom of that column for micros and for each of the FDA columns, I have a number there. That number is the average for that column. So at the bottom of the micro FDA column, you can see it says 13. That means on average for all of the nutrients listed, you are getting 13 times the amount of nutrients in one 60-gram clamshell of broccoli microgreens compared to one fresh cup of broccoli florets. So how does the math there? So say one head of broccoli is about 2 to 3, maybe a little bit more cups of florets. That means you would still have to buy, what, 13 divided by 3, maybe 3, 4 heads of broccoli before you would get the same amount of nutrition as one clamshell of microgreens. So sometimes what we hear about microgreens is, oh, well, they're expensive. The point is, they're valuable. And this right here shows you exactly how. You're getting more nutrient content in a smaller package. So it depends on which particular mineral is of interest to you. You know, calcium looks really good at 21 times. Potassium and zinc are 14 and 12 times more in the clamshell than in a cup of broccoli. Manganese, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, guys. I don't know exactly what each of these minerals support. But look at manganese, 34 times in a clamshell of broccoli compared to a cup of broccoli. That's pretty good. So I think I just kind of want to leave it there for now. And just let you guys know, same thing for a teaspoon of powder. No, we don't actually sell powder. I kind of pulled teaspoon as like an arbitrary number because we don't really have anything to compare it to. A lot of microgreen powders that are sold on the market, their servings are by scoop. Obviously, different manufacturers can change the size of their scoop, but you would need roughly 3 to 4 teaspoons of powder to equal about a cup of broccoli. And then as far as the leaflets, if you eat one leaflet, you get roughly, on average, about 2 times the nutrients in a cup of broccoli, or compared to a cup of broccoli. So I hope the chart makes sense, guys. Again, everything on the left-hand side is the FDA baseline. I will link in this video description directly to the FDA site and potentially also to this actual chart itself, if that's helpful for you guys. So let me know what you think. What does all this mean? We feel like we kind of gave you guys some options, whether it's the powder or a clamshell of microgreens versus, you know, some chocolates to eat. We feel like just adding a little bit of each one of those gives you something other than eating a full cup of broccoli. And we're kind of excited about being able to offer that to you guys. So I think I would really love to hear your feedback on, do you want to see more content like this? Is this geek out like something that you're looking for? What direction should we go with this channel? Like, give us some feedback. Another thing we would love feedback on is the powder. We don't currently sell powder. Obviously, we are manufacturing it for ourselves and packaging it for ourselves, but we're not selling it right now. The reason for that is because we thought that it's kind of a saturated market. There's a lot of powder manufacturers out there. We didn't really know if we'd be competitive, so we wanted something totally new and different, which is what took us the route of the chocolate. But you guys are our customers. You are who is important to us. And if you want to buy powder from us, let us know. We could totally make that happen, and it would be relatively easy, to be honest with you. So we are totally open to that. Also, we did 2 tests that brought you the data that I shared today. One of them was directly for the microgreen powder. The other one was for chocolate. And I say that to say we grow over 20 microgreens and edible flowers at this point. I don't even know the exact count because we kind of vary in and out of some stuff. But the testing was expensive and we have a lot of products to test. So this is not something that we are going to jump into testing everything that we have right away. But if we get feedback that this is valuable to you and that this is the type of information that you are looking for, or that you specifically want to eat so many leaflets and have it be so many cups of broccoli, we're very open to that as well. We've kind of taken a stance right now of, you know, we want our chocolate to taste like chocolate. We kind of reduced just how much powder went into the chocolates because we wanted it to taste like chocolate, not broccoli. So we're open to what you guys are looking for, you know, and I would love to hear what you guys have in the comments. You know, whether you want more testing, whether you are interested in the powder, let us know. And be sure to check out the blog for all of the data that's going to accompany this. I will have it up on the website shortly. And I'll also link to everything below directly to the FDA website, as well as to the Google Sheets that has the data that I showed you guys today. So I really hope that was helpful, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will go from there.